store at that time.
That's interesting. I mean, I saw that a lot with comic books, limited pressing and whatever.
Exactly.
But it means 20 million only.
That's right.
Do you have anything that says limited edition on it that we could just sort of use as an example?
Yeah, probably.
I mean, as a collector, you have to get the limited edition stuff, right?
Yeah, like this. This is a Bendham's. I mean, they made hundreds of these sets, but that particular one was a 6-piece gift set, and the reason why they called it a limited edition was because that's the only way. I think that was the only one you could get the Stormtrooper in. You couldn't get the Stormtrooper by itself. You'd get the other figures by themselves, but they called this a limited edition set because you could get all 6 figures together and get the bonus Stormtrooper.
Okay. So it's basically the company seeing how they can make a little bit more money, or
Right.
Okay.
Right. Yeah. Because the collector might want to go out and buy each one of these separate figures on a card, but they also want to get this because it's a different packaging. And to a lot of collectors, packaging is just, if not more important than the toy itself. To me, for one thing, that's why I keep a lot of my collection in packages, is because I like the packaging is a lot more visually, I don't know, stimulating, I guess, to look at than to the toy itself. The action figures, whether them be the larger action figures, the smaller action figures, the vehicles, whatever they might be for any movie, not necessarily Star Wars. But the way that a lot of the toys are coming nowadays, the packaging is so important because it grabs people's attention. It has to get the kids' attention or the parents' attention and say, hey, this is pretty interesting. I'm going to buy this because it looks really neat in the package.
And I mean, it's like the volume of I mean, it's like people shouting. The volume just keeps going up and up and up as the packaging gets better. I mean, you have to competing with so much other good packaging, probably. So.
Right. Yeah. I mean, some toys are packaged extremely well, but the toy itself might not be made by the best company in the world. There's a lot of toy makers like Mattel and Hasbro and a lot of the other ones that make good toys, but some of the packaging's a lot better than others.
Okay. Do you have any from when they first came out that you really like? Or maybe we could do this. Maybe we could look at some of the old packaging that's, maybe a little more, not naive, but a little more simple, like this Battlestar Galactica stuff.
Yeah.
Maybe you could tell us how it's changed and how the toys have changed a little bit over the years.
Sure. Let me see if I can find something that's a little bit more. I keep most of my toys kind of on this.
Sorry, could you say that one more time?
My toys?
Yeah.
Most of my toys are kept on this side. I display most of my toys in the smaller bookshelves and try to keep them on this side of the room. A lot of the 12-inch action figures I have lined on the bottom, as well as a lot of the signed action figures and just kind of sprinkled throughout some of the other toys, the larger exclusive toys. Some of these exclusive items were only available, like these. This was a JCPenney's exclusive 12-pack. This was I think this is a Walmart exclusive.
And what is that? Is that from the Empire Strikes Back?
Yes.
That's cool.
12-inch Wampa and Luke.
I didn't know they even made that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, this is the thing about Star Wars is, I mean, half the action figures I didn't even remember from the movie, like Walrus Man or whatever.
Walrus Man.
Yeah.
I mean, like you mentioned, there's so many minor characters now that because Star Wars has been around for 26 years and they've made so many of the major characters already, that a lot of the collectors want to see some of the other action figures made, and Hasbro has gone to the extent of digging up some of their archives, getting really good photographs of some of the characters that might not have had names originally, and making good sculpts from these and putting them in action figure form.
That's awesome. That is like.
Yeah.
We'll get back to the packaging, but let's see if you have any of this.
Okay. Yeah.
Or some of the more esoteric Cantina characters, perhaps.
True. I was trying to find. This is episode 2 stuff. They make a lot of the action figures in different sculpts as well. You might find the same action figure in one form in one particular costume, and then like 2 or 3 months later they'll come out with the exact same character but in a different pose or a different I don't know, whatever they call an action pose, I guess is what they call it for Star Wars.
I remember that.
Well, I don't have any duplicates on these. Most of my other Star Wars stuff are a lot of my vintage stuff I've kept carded. see.
How do you keep these organized? Do you mean just sort of, you know, roughly where everything is? Or?
Yeah. This group right here, I haven't really got around to organizing. That's why they're kind of still sitting in the middle of the floor. A lot of this stuff is some of my duplicate toys and my episode 2 things. When I come in from conventions, I'll just kind of lay down some of the figures. I know what I have. I keep an inventory, a rough inventory, and also I keep an inventory on the computer. So I know everything that I purchase. I know how much I paid, where I got it from.
Okay.
Let's see, darn, I'm trying to figure.
I have.
Very well done packaging would be this Boba Fett.
Wait, sorry. Could you start off?
Mm-hmm. This is a good example of a kind of an improvement in the packaging that Hasbro's made over the years. They made this 300th special figure of Boba Fett, and you can see how the packaging really catches a person's eye because it shows the figure very well, but also you have side windows that you can look at the action figure, and even all the way to the back where it describes the action figures, why it's number 300, and also you can see the detail of his rocket pack.
Wow.
So Hasbro spent quite a bit of money and probably research finding out what would pertain to collectors, and this was aimed specifically at the collector's market. It even says again special edition 300th figure on the packaging.
So, sort of just it becomes almost a defeats the purpose almost when they just say right out that it's for collectors, because doesn't that mean that everyone that's a collector is going to go out and buy it, and then
right.
Therefore how can it really appreciate, or how can it
exactly it's all a ploy. Limited edition does get people excited because they think that it is limited to a specific number, but unless it is numbered or it actually says limited to a particular place or particular time, that's really the only way that what the value, and the value will be held. It'll keep its value. Okay. Like these figures here, these are good action figures here that were limited. You can only get these in Hong Kong, and they made these for the 1997 commemorative edition. They made a good guys set and a bad guys set, and you can only get these action figures in Hong Kong.
Wow, are they just like the ones here?
Yeah, they were the same ones that they released, but these were different packagings.
Yep.
You could only get these 3 in this type of packaging with these stands in this particular set.
Let me take a minute here just to ask you, what do you feel when you look at all these toys? Like, are you seeing like the hours of hunting that you've done, or are you seeing like characters that you love, or a little bit of both, or something else? Or what do you see when you look at this wall of toys over here? What does it represent to you?
It doesn't really represent as much hunting and time, the money. It just kind of makes me feel good because I remember seeing these figures when I was younger, reliving my childhood. Brings back a lot of fond memories from when I was younger and when the movies originally came out. Yeah, it did take a lot of time, effort, energy, and a lot of money to track everything down that I wanted. But when I look at all these toys, I just like to see those particular characters again.